One of the ideas that Fricker is most famous for, and the idea from this paper and that we're most concerned with, is epistemic injustice. This idea has actually, or this concept has gotten lots of play in the last 20 years in philosophy, epistemic injustice. Um, and so I think she does actually have quite a good job of explaining what's going on. And I think Pilipchuk, though she doesn't always use exactly the language Fricker does, applies it in a very clear way, and Fricker discusses it in the podcast. But I just want to say I just want to go through it again real quickly, just to get the way I'm thinking of it. It's sort of being a very simply defined phenomenon. I want to get that out there, just so we're clear, we're on the same page, because it really is important. So we start with this idea of rational authority, which for Fricker is being competent and trustworthy about some question. That is, tending to get the question right and convey it accurately to others. So that's something about it's somewhat related to our notion of a sort of being a reliable informant or something like this. That is related to, but not the same as, this notion of credibility, which is having features that make you appear like you have rational authority. So it involves seeming competent and trustworthy. Whether you are in fact competent and trustworthy, that's a matter of rational authority. But whether you seem competent and trustworthy, that's what credibility is about. And it's important to realize, as she points out, that there are possible mismatches. You might be credible but not have rational authority, or have credibility but not rational authority. That is, you can seem to have rational authority but not really have it. So you seem to have it, so you have credibility, but you don't really have rational authority. The people that fall under this are people like liars or self-promoters. In Pilipchuk's example, she sort of has no great feelings for Donald Trump, and the way she portrays him is as somebody who has credibility but not rational authority, at least on some of the questions that she's discussing in that piece. Now, you might also get a mismatch in the other direction. So somebody might have rational authority but not credibility. That is, a person can have rational authority but not seem like they have rational authority. Your rational authority might not be recognized. And Fricker talks a lot about socially disadvantaged people. They might have a lot of rational authority on some particular topic. They might be very trustworthy, a very reliable source on that topic, but they might not be credible in the sense that it doesn't seem to people that they have that rational authority. And what an epistemic injustice is when there's some sort of mismatch in this way, and it's your power, it's your social place in society that has an effect on your credibility without respect to your rational authority. So you have a sort of mismatch, and the reason for the mismatch has to do with your social standing, your social situation, the power you have in society. And this leads to, she thinks this occurs because in society the powerful tend to have mere credibility in the absence of rational authority. Again, Pilipchuk is talking about Donald Trump, the candidate, a few years ago, having this on the issues of Megyn Kelly and Hillary Clinton. Now, there's also the sort of flip side where the less powerful lack credibility despite having rational authority. And here, Fricker's thinking of people like women, racial and ethnic minorities, poor people, disabled people, who might have quite a bit of rational authority, but because they don't have power otherwise, they might not be treated as such or taken to have rational authority. That is, they lack, in her language, credibility. Now, she thinks when this happens, when you are a rational authority on a topic, but you don't have credibility, you're not treated like you are, an injustice is done to you. Because she thinks one of our central capacities as humans is as knowers, as rational agents. And if somebody undermines this capacity in you, or you don't give this capacity its due, there's some sort of injustice happening. And she thinks it's an epistemic injustice because it has to do with our status as knowers. This is her idea of epistemic injustice, a mismatch of credibility and rational authority due to social power or social standing. And what it does is undermine somebody's rational capacity as a knower.